Maybe I'm live. I think I'm live. Would be nice if I'm live. Oh. I had someone waiting and then they went away. Oh, goodness, I just woke up, so. Good morning. See if I can find a thing. Good morning. I am just looking for something to discuss once my people figure out that I am live. I know I'm quiet right now, but I just woke up, so I'm still getting my wits about me. Still getting my wits about me. We could talk about bone work. Bone work seems good. Okay. Yep, this will work. This will work. I got bit on my butt while I was outside. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and start. Bone magic and bone divination. The spiritual practice of using bones can be found in different cultures dating back thousands of years. The use of bones for magical or spiritual purposes can be most commonly found in some practices of hoodoo, shamanism, and folk spiritual traditions. Blech. As morbid as this may seem to some who use bones for spiritual practices, there are often ground rules on how to obtain and collect bones, which can vary from practice to practice. And above all, a deep respect is a must for the bones that are used. As morbid as this may seem to some to use bones for spiritual practices, there are often ground rules. There we are. I read that already. The viewpoint of this post on bone magic and divination is from a modern witchcraft perspective. Bone divination and magic in the past has been used and to this day is still used by some cultures. If you're interested in this type of magic, take time to explore if or how your cultural ancestors practiced or worked with bones. Me personally, my ancestors were Visigoths or samurai. So I'm pretty sure my Visigoths probably used bones. It's probably a thing. Here we'll cover an introduction to bone magic and bone divination. We'll also include where to find more information and how to properly and ethically collect your bones for ritual, magic, divination, or simply as a collector's item. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm like wiping the dream sand from my eyes. What is bone magic and divination? Talking about bones can be a touchy subject and has been controversial for centuries. It's explicitly stated here that nothing should be killed for the sole purpose of magic spells or collecting. Like, seriously. Common sense, right? Right. Bone collecting for any kind is the result of death by other means, often natural or through animal hunting, often for food, or even roadkill. Bone magic or divination is certainly not a requirement for any witchcraft practice and is merely a personal preference by some witches. That being said, bone collecting should only be done ethically and through sustainable sources. Bones which belonged to an animal or even a human, i.e. their body part and bones, can continue to hold part of their energy/spirit even after death. Everything has an energetic imprint, and depending on how strong someone's or something's energy is or was, an energetic imprint can remain a long time or indefinitely. When using bones for magic or divination, the practitioner can tap into the energy of the bones and ask the animal or even human, but that's a much trickier topic only for very experienced and trained magical practitioners and is not recommended to assist with the magical working. Ethics and respect for bones. Firstly, animal magic and working with animal bones is generally considered more natural and less complicated than using any human parts. Animal bones are more accepted socially and culturally. Let's talk briefly about the dilemma and ethics around human bones and osteology. I won't sugarcoat it here and say that it has not been done historically in the past, nor is it not still done in any part of the world. But there's a requirement for a deeper understanding and respect when using human parts that's best left alone or to those who culturally understand it. To be clear, magical workings with human bones is not encouraged here, nor will it be taught or suggested. Oh. Generally, in Western culture and in most places, working with human bones for magic isn't done or encouraged. For historical purposes and reference, it was centuries ago that corpse magic was done in Iceland and in Germanic countries, which was outlawed as a form of witchcraft. If curious about these historical practices in Iceland and the Nordic Germanic countries centuries ago, check out the book The Language of the Corpse, The Power of the Cadaver in Germanic and Icelandic Sorcery by Cody Dickinson. I'll put the link in the chat. Hello, Sage. You caught me without makeup. Trust me, I'll have makeup when I am done here. That's a $50 book. Holy crap. Oh, I'm being asked a witchy question. Alright, I'm gonna answer this witchy question on the stream. Please load, la la. Had some questions about a tarot reading I did on myself and what maybe you think it is trying to say. I did it for a deity reading, if there were any who wanted to work with me. Right. What did the cards say? It can't be stressed enough that working with bones requires care, respect, and dignity. Bones require respect and a special place of their own in your home where the bones won't be disturbed, cluttered, or played with. Culturally, human bones require a lot more respect and care, and only serious and respected consider this. Magic with human bones is much more complicated and generally not recommended at all for good reasons. For the sake of common sense, just don't use it for magic. In any case of collecting bones of any kind, be sure that they are sourced ethically and sustainably. Bones should never be sourced for the explicit purpose of collection or magical purposes. Instead, the bones are often the result of some other means, and therefore the remains are not left to be thrown away. If you are interested in collecting your own, be sure to do your research well into shops. At the end of this post are a few shop recommendations based in Canada, US, and the UK regions. Also, be sure to know your country's and your state/province's laws about osteology and bone collection. Some countries prohibit the sale or buying of bones or remains of certain animals. Some bones are restricted from being removed from a state, province, or country, and some countries prohibit the sale, buying of, or collection of human or animal bones. Good morning, Sage. You don't have any makeup on either. I don't feel so bad. Doll, good morning. It's wonderful to see you all. All right. Oh, I love her deck. I use her deck that this woman uses. I am using for storytelling. All right. Left top is a negative trait. Right is a positive trait. Bottom left is what they rule. Bottom right is what they rule. Top center is supposed to represent the deity. I'm trying to read the cards. The moon. That is an easy deity, I think, to all right. Only time she's ever pulled the tower. So the top is the moon, the left is the tower, the bottom left is the reverse star, which is a loss of hope. The bottom right is the reverse Queen of Pentacles, and then the top right is reverse Strength. So let's say trait. For the first time in months, I don't recall my dream very well today, but I have this itch for a new poem somehow. That is amazing. Sounds like the muses have visited you, doll. I have to agree. Anyway, I was talking about bones, wasn't I? Sorry. I got like eyeballs deep in this tarot thing. All right. There are two general or broad options when working with animal bones. One, working with the animal from which the bones come from, and two, working with the collective energy of the animal. So we'll piece this apart. Working with the animal from which the bones come from. This can mean asking for the animal's assistance, for them to do your bidding, lending your energy, etc. Lending their energy, etc. This process requires the animal to want to assist you and also requires a rapport and relationship with the animal first. This process takes time and can be done through offerings, ritual, meditations to meet and connect with the animal spirit of the bones. Yes, Sage, I think maybe a moose. Yay! Have you a need for work with a destruction goddess? So, war. Yeah. I used to work with Kali, but I haven't needed that kind of energy in a couple of years now. Not since I started meds, to be quite honest. I think I'm going to share this screen with her. Also doing a witchy coffee stream at the moment. Oh, it ate my post. Oh, it did not. Okay. It just took a minute for it to get up there. Hi, Shelby. Hello, Shelby. It is good to see you. I'm talking about animal bones today. Using it in your magic and your divination. And I'm helping a student with their tarot reading regarding working with a new deity. They were doing it through tarot, which is dicey. I hope she joins the stream so I can talk to her about it a little more in depth. I don't think so. I was just asking the universe if there were any deities interested in working with me. Wanted to get into more deity work. Hindu gods are pretty happy to be worked with if you keep them happy with offerings and life paths. I happen to be Buddhist already, so Hindu gods are happy to work with me. I offer music and bells and dance and flowers and light and fire and incense. Currently, I also am charging some hedge writing salve and a protection recaning stick. Okay. Hi, Shelby. All right. Where was I? I only slept for like 3 hours. I am currently doing a witchy stream. What is up? Let's do a food thing. What kind of food would you like to do? Do we want to do Bob Evans? Do we want to have it delivered? Do we want to cook something here? Sorry about this, guys. Let's have it delivered. Bob Evans. What do I want from Bob Evans? Probably hotcakes. Probably somewhere between buttermilk and blueberry. Who's gonna get it? Hello everyone, this is my mother. Let's do blueberry with sausage links, and I don't need any of this other stuff. What are you in the mood for?
I'm aiming toward French toast. Do we have it?
They have like a bluish French toast?
No.
Okay. Do you want any topping?
Nope.
Okay. What kind of meat do you want?
I'm feeling bacon today.
Okay. We don't need any of this extra stuff. Do we want any orange juice or anything? That's not a yes. Okay. 34 minutes. And also, my friend Sage says hello.
Hello.
Okay. I know. She's the flat. I don't know if you guys can see her. I know I'm fat, but there's a flat cat. There's a flat cat. She was upset that she could not lay in my lap because I had a laptop there. So she laid nearby, and she is a flat cat.
Yes. Your not so flat cat was the one that woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning.
He came in and woke me up at 6.
But, chirp, chirp, chirp,
yeah.
Chirp, bang on the door, chirp, chirp, chirp.
Yeah. Greg was like, you are submitting to terrorist demands. You don't have to listen to his terrorist demands.
Yeah, I heard him. Oh, my God.
All right. I am giving Richie advice.
Okay, I will do the retreat and hopefully not take this thing down with me as I go. Because it is getting lower and lower and lower.
That is because he crawled on the back of the couch. I'm going to take it down today
anyway. Okay. It caught my hair. Now my hair's all tangled.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, I was going to ask you to get a breakfast sandwich. They actually don't do breakfast sandwiches at this particular place. I consider myself a witch, but I'm also an atheist. Yep. Do you think working with deities is a requirement? It is not. It is a preference. I think of them as like working with a contractor, or you can become friends, but I don't worship them. I don't make a dogma around them. It can be done outside of religious context. Also, you can make deities out of goddamn everything. Like egregores or god forms. That means there are people in the chaos magic community who have made Rainbow Dash a god. They have made Spider-Man a god. It's stuff like that. Like, you can make a god out of goddamn everything. But it is not a requirement to work with a deity or anything. I dislike the extra support. I will need more coffee here shortly. And as you guys know, I like to take my coffee with me. Alright. Working with the animal from which the bones come from. Right. We were talking about a thing. The process requires the animal to want to assist you and also requires a rapport and a relationship with the animal first. This process takes time and can be done through offerings, ritual, meditations, to meet and connect with the animal spirit of the bones. I guess at this point I could probably get a peregrine falcon skull or wing tip or foot or something, and that would probably help me connect with him a little bit. I think I got a name from him. Where's my journal? That's a really great question. My book of mirrors. I actually wrote about it. I did come up with... He did tell me a name. Maybe I did not write it down. Let me think. Oh, and Carnoon told me to work with animal bones and get some antlers. I didn't write it down. That's unfortunate. I forgot to write it down. I guess I'll have to make another trip and ask him his name. Let's see. Haha, that's probably for the best. Wouldn't be any good by the time it got to me anyway. Yeah, I gotcha. Shelby, you don't have to work with a god. Sometimes the god chooses you. Sometimes what I do all the time is I kind of like read their resume in a way, and if what they lord over, if they specialize in something that I'm trying to do, then I might be like, hey, you know this thing that I also am trying to do, so if you could help, like, that would be really super cool. Though my relationship with Ekate has evolved from like contractor, co-worker sort of mentality to like an outright friend. A revered friend, but a friend nonetheless. Delicious. Oh, and you can't see it, but in that shrine is a Ekate statue, along with Ganesh and Saraswati. Currently, I have water, candles, flowers, bells, and light offered. The tarot card is for me. The salve and the protection retaining stick is also for me. How did I find my deity? I read about the pantheon in depth. Yep. Realized there's a blind god of winter and darkness. Yep. Felt way less lonely. Made a ritual. Felt things. Yes. That is how I do it as well. Just worked out. Hello, Ginny. Good to see you. I'm talking about animal bones and gods. Partly because I need the refresher for some working with animal bones action that I need to do. And I'm also in the market for a couple of specific bones. I have a friend who does like Revolutionary War reenactment stuff, and so they have access to like antlers and bones and stuff. So that would be super cool. I would appreciate that. Let's see here. Working with the collective energy of the animal. Let's see. Different cultures also have different definitions of what certain animals represent collectively, and often in regards to animals that are native to a specific region or continent. The bones can be used to connect with the collective spirit of that type of animal that the bones are from. This idea or belief shouldn't be confused with the spirit animal, which is unique to Native American spirituality and has its own meaning. The spiritual essence of what the animal represents can be different depending on what culture you're referencing, such as Celtic, Eastern European, Asian, Eurasian, African, etc. To best understand the spiritual essence or representation of an animal is spiritually what the spiritual essence or representation of an animal is spiritually. There we go. Have a look at your cultural background and heritage and see how your ancestors viewed the animal in spiritual terms. I like this lady because she also does not socially appropriate or culturally appropriate other cultures into her practice. She works with her ancestral lands. I also work with my ancestral lands. The Hindu gods are a exception because they're in what they lord over is in my paradigm, and it just makes sense for us to work together. They're happy to do the work. I'm happy to keep them happy, and I treat them with respect, I think, is the bottom line. Okay, Sage is gonna bounce. Need to get washed and dressed and prepped for the chit chat. If you are still going when I am done, I'll hop back on. Alright, cool. And Ginny says I have a set of runes handmade from deer bone. That's awesome. Super awesome. Because deers are often associated with being able to jump through the veil, being able to jump through the hedge. So they can go from realm to realm really easily. And divination is kind of like skirting that line between travel and just like shouting into the void, basically. What is the term that we cannot excuse me, let me try this again. What is the term we can use that isn't spirit animal? I don't want to use the term in my writing, and that's not what I mean. Spirit guide. Spirit guides are what we call them in chaos magic. And they usually guide us through the hedge. I think the connotation of a spirit guide is that they can be, they can hang out if they so desire, and still be a guide, and they can become friends. Spirit animals are that is not the same thing. That is, see if the internet can say it better than I can. In certain spiritual traditions or cultures, spirit animal refers to a spirit which helps guide or protect a person on a journey and whose characteristics that person shares or embodies. That doesn't sound right. It is also a metaphor, often humorous, for someone or something a person relates to or admires. That's from dictionary.com. Oh, it's considered slang. Let me see. Select a spirit animal. No. Wikipedia. Also, power animal, spirit guide, or a totem. I feel like spirit animal is specifically for spiritual journeys, for one, and they come to the person. They are not summoned. So we can talk about power animals, which is a neo-shamanic belief of a spirit that guides, helps, or protects an individual. Spirit guides, which is a spiritualist entity that remains a spirit to act as a guide or protector to the living incarnated human being. Or the totem, which is in indigenous cultures, so be careful with totems. A spirit or animal revered as sacred that guides, helps, and protects individuals, lineages, and nations. I was talking about spirit guides. In Western spiritualism, it is an entity that remains as a disincarnate spirit to act as a guide or protector to a living incarnated human being. Blah. Normally summoned or invoked in the Wicca community. Let's see. The animal is not summoned, they just come. Oh no. No totems though. Okay. You might be actually using spirit animals, but they have to be like in gnosis for the animal to show up. So usually what natives do is they're on peyote, or like, so they're hallucinating, they're delirious, they're dehydrated, they're underslept. So the hallucination is usually their spiritual trip. I'm gonna get some more coffee. See where my breakfast is at. I have a driver. They're waiting for the order. There might be 20 minutes left. That's awesome. Come with me to the kitchen. Wow. I'm gonna trip over this cat. It's gonna be terrible. You're gonna go on this chair. So I can step over this cat. Oh, she's right. It is getting lower. Oh my gosh. This is fantasy, of course. It's a back burner project. It is a made-up world. A real animal shows up to a kid, very young, toddlerish. I think spirit animal might still be the... I would say spirit guide, personally. I need to actually start working with fox bones, I think. I have a fox skull. I just haven't started working with him yet. Which is silly. If a magical bond is established, the kid and the animal start to communicate telepathically, and only after the kid discovers which element they can control. It might be more interesting if you pull a Moana and have the element interact with the child instead of an animal. I'm still here, I swear. I'm here. I'm here, I swear. Well, I'll come over here so that it doesn't... Alright, where was I? To work with the animal as a collective spiritual energy. This can be done through meditation, ritual, and offerings. What do I give a fox besides chickens? I'm not going to sacrifice chickens for a fox. Not going to do that. To know more about a collective meaning of an animal, what a collective meaning of an animal is, try to search online for the name of the animal's spiritual meaning. There's also a book that is recommended. Put it in the chat. Oh, no, that's wrong. Hold on. Ignore that. It did not. Oh, animal and spirit guides. Got it. How to do bone magic and witchcraft. This book, it is not a book, it is a blog post about animal guides. Like my peregrine falcon is more of a spirit, not an animal guide. I think my fox would be an animal guide. Let's see, I'm liking this talk about spirit animals. My oldest dog just showed up one day, and I've always felt she was my miracle dog because she came along right when I needed her. She also might be the incarnation of a dog you might have owned prior, and she remembered her past life. Might be a thing. Cream. I called this an animal companion because I didn't want to use the term I shouldn't use. Animal companion works great. Animal companion works awesome. I'm gonna make my coffee and then pour some of it out because my cup is too full. Oh my gosh, I better start wrapping this shit up, huh? I should probably stop talking about bones and start answering questions. So regarding deities and who's it? Animal spirits. So god forms and non-local spirits, as we're talking, if we're talking coffee grounds in my coffee. Oh my gosh. I'm a terrible waitress, which is why I gotta pour some of this out. Gotta pour some of this out. We're going to sit at the table because it is easier than wandering into the blanket fort. Five more minutes. I technically started at 9:03. Yeah. Alright. How to do bone magic and witchcraft. I'll just talk about this last bit. There are different ways that bones can be used in magic. The best kind of magic is performed intuitively. However, there are suggestions on how to add bones to a magical working. Bones can either be added to a spell, or be the focal point of a spell, or a magical working. Just like other correspondences used in magic and spells, such as herbs, crystals, planetary and astrological aspects, the elements, elementals, color magic, animal spirit energy can be added to a spell with the help of bones. Adding a bone to a spell with the energy of the animal or collective energy of the animal can be done to add or draw a quality of the animal to your working, or you can ask the animal to assist you. For example, if you need something quick and cunning, you can use a fox skull or bone. For wisdom and teachings, you can use a wolf. Depending on the size of the bone or even the skull, the bones can be added to an altar where the spell is done, or can be added to a charm or mojo bag with the herbs, crystals, or oil, and carried on you or the person to do the working or the draw something towards you / push away from you. Workings, right. Bones and skulls can also be used for meditation and astral work to help you connect with the energy of the animal that the bones belonged to, or to the collective spirit energy of the animal. Like I was talking about being in the market for peregrine falcon bones, since my spirit guide is a peregrine falcon. I did not pick him, he picked me. Technically the fox picked me IRL, so I don't know what's up with that. Oh, the trash man is here. Oh my gosh, it looks like I'm naked. Hold on. It's kind of low. I'll have to think about it. When I started this idea, it came from a nightmare I had and followed it, inspired by Philip Pullman's trilogy. I'm very new to bone magic, never worked with it before. Thank you for all the tips. Cool, no problem. To work with animal energy in astral work or meditation, simply hold the animal bone or skull, or have it placed near you and focus on the bone or skull. Speak with the bone or skull and the animal and allow yourself to feel its energy. Allow the conversation to flow. If you wish, you can record any messages or feelings that you receive from the astral working or meditation. This method can be done also. I should take some medicine. This method can be done also prior to any magical or spell working that you wish to do with the animal bone to ensure that the spirit of the animal and the bone accepts and wants to help you with the magical working. Be sure to always get permission or the go-ahead from the animal first before using any bone or skull in a magical working, which I have not done yet, so that's probably, yeah. Which is bad because I've been using possum bones in my magical working in the past. Important note, before using any bones for the purpose of magic or spell work, be sure to ask the spirit of the bone if it will be acceptable to work with the bone for the magical purpose. This can be done physically. This can be done psychically and intuitively sensing or hearing an answer, or you can use any form of divination to get your reply. I can usually feel the vibe of the bone as to whether or not they want to be worked with. Same with plants. If I'm like, when I was looking for wands, when I was looking for staves, I was asking the plant if I could take these things. And I've been told no, and I've been told yes. So, if you feel that it will be okay and the energy spirit of the bone agrees to your working, then you may proceed. If you get the feeling or message that the spirit of the bone does not want to work or participate, then don't use that bone in your magical working. Keep the bone or skull in a safe place on display or placed neatly in its own protective box or case. If you feel that the energy of the bone doesn't mix well with your energy and you no longer wish to have it in your possession, then it may be best to find the bone a new home for someone who will take care of it. Is my coffee cool enough to drink? It is not. Okay. I have some water here, so you're going to watch me take my meds before we sign off. See, whenever I ask for animal guidance, the animal showing up in dreams, and it's always a bat. That's awesome. There were lots of bats in that place that I wanted to move to on the astral plane. Bat spirit. The bat arriving in your life signifies an omen of change. He asks that you pay attention to the signs around you. This transition may seem frightening at first, but you must let go of your old habits and patterns that no longer serve your cause. They will only hinder your growth. So, they have like a million meanings. Holy crap. But you get the idea. Buffering. I strongly disagree of the buffering. Anyway, I got distracted by things. But considering it is I think the bat is appropriate for you. Yes, meanings depend on the species too, yeah. It goes. All right. It has officially been 1 hour on the dot. Thank you all for joining me. I could probably go into divination tomorrow. Um, Thank you for joining me one more time. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I will catch you on the flip side. Oh, wait. Also, at noon Eastern, I will be partaking on Sage Gordon Davis's stream in a chat. It would be lovely to see you folks there. Okay, I will officially see you later.